Welcome to the Gill Studio. I'm Zach Green, and this is our setup. We specialize in restoration and fabrication of stained glass windows. And yeah, come on in, I'll show you around. We focus on the restoration of historic stained glass windows. So for example, this is a piece that's been heavily damaged, and we're gonna recreate each aspect of it. We're gonna recreate these missing sections, paint them and fire them in the kiln, and then reconstruct the window. This one's in pretty bad shape, but when it comes back together, it'll be essentially a new window with the original glass. Part of what we have to do in the restoration field is we have to master all of the old techniques. We have to figure out how the old masters that created this piece over a century ago, how they did it. And then we have to recreate that because they didn't leave us a map. They didn't leave us a recipe for these things. There's a million little pieces of information in all of these details. This face has a million little clues about the way that the original artist did the work. The material cost and labor in designing and fabricating something like this is so extraordinarily high that in the old days, when the craft really was invented, the only institutions that could afford such a thing were religious institutions. In the Victorian age, there was an explosion of interest in stained glass. Homes were filled with stained glass pieces. In the last century, there was another interest in it. There was a crafts explosion. People started making it themselves, and it turned into like a hobbyist thing for the first time. The amount of hours that go into creating something like this is extraordinary. Just this painted face, for example, this single piece of glass within this window could have as many as 20 or 30 hours of painting just in one piece of glass. And then when you map that out across a large window, you're really talking about huge investment of time and money. A couple of years ago, we did Yale University's Hall of Graduate Studies. We were on that job for 2+ years. We restored, I think it was 3,000 panels in one building. That was just like a massive operation. A lot of these had been lost, stolen, and vandalized, and so we had to do recreations of a lot of these medallions. So this would have been set inside of a window with a grid of rectangular glass or diamonds. There's not too many studios that are available to do work at this scale. And our team is one of those studios. So I can say I learned something on every single project, whether it's technical or design-wise. It's an infinite space for learning, and it's also it's like a team sport. Like the scale at which we're operating requires the input of lots and lots of different kinds of people, from craftsmen and designers. Working with all those people always reveals something new and fascinating. Yeah, I'm constantly learning. Does that answer that question? Kind of. And I can also say I'm constantly learning, and no two projects are ever the same. I mean, some of them become kind of rinse and repeat by the end of the process, but every process is a new process, and we're constantly redesigning the way we do things to get certain jobs done. They're all utterly unique.